about Madhvendra Puri. Okay. So we'll first start with our Mangalacharan. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Upakadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Dapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sadhujatam Sahagara Rugnathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Saragna Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jaratpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Padme Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhyaite girin yat kripatamaham Shri Gurudin Karanam Paramananda Madhanam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. All right, so today we are going to learn a little bit about who Sripad Madhvendra Puri was and what role he plays in our Gauriya Madhav Sampradaya. Okay, so basically Madhvendra Puri is the grand spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Madhvendra Puri's disciple is Sripad Ishwar Puri and his disciple is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now, this whole knowledge that we are learning, this divine knowledge, this spiritual knowledge, this whole knowledge was given by Lord first to Lord Brahma, from Lord Krishna to Lord Brahma, who then passed it on to Narad Muni, who then gave it to Vyasadeva. And then from Vyasadeva, it was passed on to Madhvacharya, Madhvacharya to Padmanabha, from Padmanabha to Narahari, from Narahari to Madhva, from Madhva to Akshobja, from Akshobja to Jayatirtha, from Jayatirtha to Jnanasindhu, Jnanasindhu to Dayanidhi, Dayanidhi to Vidyanidhi, Vidyanidhi to Jayadharma, Jayadharma to Rajendra, Rajendra to Purushottama, Purushottama to Brahmanya Tirth, and from him to Vyasatirth, from him to Lakshmipati, and from Lakshmipati to Madhvendra Puri. So we will talk about little bit, and from then Madhvendra Puri it was passed on. Obviously, I mean, Lord Mahaprabhu doesn't need this, but just to follow the protocol from Madhvendra Puri to Ishwar Puri. So that's how we are going to learn about how Madhvendra Puri plays a major role in our Gauriya Madhava Sampradaya. So the lineage that I read to you, from that we know that from Vyasadeva when it came to Madhvacharya, and then in that lineage itself finally came Madhvendra Puri. Now we're basically going to learn, it's it's going to be more about like a story format, like about his life and the lessons that we learn from his life. It's very difficult to talk about Sripad Madhvendra Puri because Mahaprabhu himself spoke about him. So when something or somebody who is glorified by Mahaprabhu himself, who are we to glorify them? But we will, just for our own purification, little bit we are going to see what Mahaprabhu has told us about Sripad Madhvendra Puri. So, when what happened was when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. We know that, right? But his associates did not let him go there, and they tricked him back to Advaita Acharya's place in Shantipur. Now, when Mahaprabhu was actually thinking that he was going to Vrindavan, and he was in the Ganges thinking it to be Yamuna, and there, when he's deep in the waters of Yamuna, deep in the sense he's far away, there he sees Advaita Acharya at the other end, and he's thinking that how come Advaita Acharya is in Vrindavan? So then he asks Advaita Acharya that what are you doing here in Vrindavan? And then Advaita Acharya says, my lord, this is not Vrindavan. And then he brings Mahaprabhu to his house and tells him about how Sachi Mata was not being able to see him, because if he goes to Vrindavan, she's in total mood of separation. And then Sachi Mata herself, she says that you've already taken sannyas. At least don't go that far off. If you're in Puri, I can at least get some information about you. And Mahaprabhu, being very particular about his sannyas dharma, he says, a sannyasi is not to keep any contact with anybody. So then Sachimata says, see, you have to understand that Jagannath Puri and Navadip, they're like two rooms of a house. And if you stay in one of the rooms, at least I'm able to get some information about you, some news about you from your associates. So then Mahaprabhu agrees. And then along with Jagdananda Pandit, Nityananda Prabhu, Damodar, Mukunda, he heads off towards Puri. All of these his associates. So then he starts going to Puri Dham. Now, when he's going from Mayapur to Puri, in between falls a village by the name of Remona. And he's never been earlier to Remona. This is the first time that he's going to Remona. And there, we know there's a beautiful temple of Khirchor Gopinath in that village. So Mahaprabhu, along with all these associates that he was going to Puri with, he goes there and he goes to the temple and he does Krishna Katha and he does Krishna Kirtan. And then all of them sit together and they start discussing about Madhvendra Puri. Then Mahaprabhu asks Lord Nityananda, "Oh Nityananda, what do you think is there anyone in this world more fortunate than Madhvendra Puri?" So for him, the Lord himself stole the kheer. All the bhaktas, then they became very curious that what is about this pastime and how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then starts talking about this pastime. So he starts telling that how there was a devotee by the name of Madhvendra Puri who had come to this village and how the Lord himself stole the kheer for him. So what happens in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Leela, Chapter 4, there is this pastime of Madhvendra Puri. And Krishnadas Kaviraj explains that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows about this pastime. He's never been to Remona. This is for the first time he's going there. How does he know about Khirchor Gopinath? And how does he know about, Gopinath being known as Khirchor Gopinath, and how about Madhvendra Puri? So then he explains that he had heard all this from his guru, Ishwar Puri Maharaj. So Madhvendra Puri, Shripad Madhvendra Puri's disciple is Ishwar Puri, and Ishwar Puri Maharaj's disciple is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he had heard this from his own spiritual master. As Lord Ram or Lord Krishna themselves, they established, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they themselves have established the fact that how important it is to receive this divine or spiritual knowledge by Guru's mercy. So, you become a devotee not by buying books. Now, if somebody wants to become a doctor, if he just buys the medical books, on medicine, all the books on medicine, will he become a doctor? No. Even if he reads them, he needs somebody to explain what is written in the books, and who that somebody will be, the teacher. So similarly, we need to hear about Krishna Katha from the right person. Just buying books is not going to help. So it is mainly by the association of the devotees and hearing Krishna Katha from Guru. That is the only way. So actually in spiritual life, if you think about it, more than eyes, ears play a major role. Because what you see from your eyes, eyes even, there's such a nice thing about eyes, that eyes, even the gopis were not happy with Lord Brahma for having these eyelids, because for those few seconds or fraction of seconds, they were not able to see Krishna. And that's how they were criticizing Lord Brahma, that what kind of a creator is he, that he has created eyelids. Because of these eyelids, our eyes close, and for that many shana moments, we're not able to see Krishna. Similarly, if you think about it, eyes have eyelids, so you can close your eyes, but ears don't have any door to it. So whatever you hear in your spiritual life, that is what matters. That is what helps you advance and purify and know the Supreme Lord better. So eyes have eyelids, but ears have no cover. So when we see the deities in the eyes with these mundane eyes and have not heard about the deities, those deities will appear as merely stone or wood statue to us. But if we have heard about the deities, then we know that they are actually Archvigraha, they're the worshipable Lord. They're not different from the Lord himself. So like that, in spiritual life, ears play the major role of eyes, basically. So it is very, very important to hear. As we know, the 9 processes of devotional service, they begin with Shravanam. Shravanam is very, very important. Now, in spiritual life, therefore, we understand that realization is through ears, not through eyes. So it is very, very important to hear from the right authority, from your spiritual master. So now, what happened was how much faith we have in our guru. So there was this one village, and in that village, there was this one person who was going through a very difficult time financially in his life. So he went to his guru, and his guru saw the disciple and he said, "What's wrong with you?" And the disciple said, "I'm not able to focus on anything. I'm going through such a financial crisis." So the guru said, "Okay, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you touchstone." You know what a touchstone is. When the touchstone touches anything iron, it becomes gold. So he gave him that touchstone, and that person was very happy, and he said, "Now that your financial problems will be taken care of, I hope you'll get back to your spiritual life." And this person, he took the touchstone, he went, and he never came back. He never came back, and the guru was very surprised. The guru was thinking, "Oh my God, looks like he's got a lot of wealth now." And now he is totally distracted by that wealth. He is not coming back. So the guru, being guru and merciful, he thought, "I'll only go and check on him." So when the guru goes to the disciple's house and he tells the disciple, "Looks like you're pretty well off now, and you don't need a guru, you don't need to focus on your spiritual life. It looks like you're really distracted in your material life." So this person says, "It's not the touchstone or the gold that has changed me. I have actually lost faith in you." So the guru was like, "Really? Why have you lost faith in me?" He was like, "Well, what happened?" So he said, "That touchstone that you gave me doesn't even work." So the guru was like, "No, I gave you the right touchstone, and show me where is it." Now this person was basically an oil merchant. So he had, big oil barrels, and he took his guru to a storehouse where these big iron oil barrels were there, and he said that, "I threw the touchstone in one of those barrels." So the guru said, "I need a ladder to see what's going on." So he took the ladder because they were huge. So, he had to climb up to see what's going on inside. And he took a torch light. And then when he saw inside the barrel, the touchstone, there was a swing, literally a swing made of spider webs. And the touchstone was swinging was on that web, the network of the web. And it had not touched the iron barrel. So when it had not touched the iron barrel, how is the iron going to turn into gold? So it was not the fault of the touchstone or the guru. It was his lack of faith in the words of guru. Similarly, when we hear, in our ear, we have these webs made of so many webs we have, and we are not able to let the real message go through through our ears, and then it doesn't reach the heart, and then there is no purification happening, and we blame the guru. It is our fault. We have so many anarthas, the web of the anarthas, and it just has, we don't hear so many things else. Everything else we'll hear, but the important thing, the touchstone, doesn't reach. So it is the quality of hearing. It's not that, so many times we have faced this, that when a lecture is going or some discourse is going on, if you're watching it, recorded lecture, and if our mind is not present at that very moment, we have to go back. We rewind a few more, we rewind for a few more minutes, and then we end up listening again and again. Why? Because at that particular moment, maybe we're not focused enough to know what's going on, and then we have to rewind it. Similarly, so many thoughts are going on in our mind, so the quality of hearing is not that good. So this is, we should have that kind of faith in the words of the guru, and this is what was the problem with that man. So anyway, so the disciples, basically, they were not interested of Madhvacharya, were not interested in pravachan, but were more worried about. Now, we know we were talking about Madhvacharya's lineage only. Madhvinder Puri comes. So this Madhvacharya, when he was giving the discourses, there were so many of his disciples who were not interested in what the guru was saying. They were all the time, Madhvacharya had become very old by then. So that time, they were more interested in who's going to write commentaries on his lectures, who's going to translate that once he leaves. And they went and they asked this question to Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya got very angry. He said, you people forget it, this buffalo who's listening very sincerely is going to actually write the commentaries on my lectures. And they were thinking, buffalo. So, wherever that the place where they were listening the lectures, there was this cow shed where there was this buffalo who was grazing the grass at the same time, listening to the lectures very attentively. But all these disciples of Madhvacharya were worried about that. Who's going to write commentaries once a spiritual master leaves? And they were worried about that more than what they were hearing. And when the guru said that this buffalo is going to write, they were wondering, how will that be? So that buffalo actually wrote the commentary. How? Because when the buffalo left the soul, when the soul of the buffalo left that body, it took the body of Jayatirtha we just read the lineage. In that lineage, the name Jayatirtha came. Madhvacharya, then Padmanabha, Narhari, Madhva, Akshobja, and then Jayatirtha. This Jayatirtha was the same soul that was in the body of the buffalo, and he actually wrote all the commentaries on the lectures. So we should understand from this that having faith is so important, very, very important. Now everything can be forgiven, but Vaishnava Aparadh. Vaishnava Aparadh, there's no way out for Vaishnava Aparadh. So we have to be very, very careful. Now in Ramayana, we know that when Lord Ram and Lakshman, they left, then Bharat came for them. And then when Bharat came, Lakshman till then was doubtful about Bharat, and he was thinking that why Bharat has come to make things difficult now. Lord Ram asked him to, he said that, wait, just let's hear him out. Why is he here? So Lakshman misunderstood Bharat. Now this all is a cycle, but it is just to teach us an example. Not that there was anything between them, but it is for us to learn a lesson. So because Lakshman doubted Bharat, so then Mother Sita doubted Lakshman, right? When that golden deer was being chased, by Lord Ram, and then he did not come back, and Mother Sita asked Lakshman to go and check on Lord Ram. And then that time, the Lakshman said, he's Lord Ram, he doesn't need me, it's okay, he asked me to take care of you, I need to be here. And then Mother Sita doubted him. He said, you want something to happen to Lord Ram, looks like. And then Mother Sita, remember, this is all just to set an example, there was no problem with them. So Mother Sita doubted Lakshman. So then what happened to Mother Sita? She was kidnapped by Ravana. So all this is going on in a cycle. This Aparadh, they're teaching us how Vaishnava Aparadh can be so severe. So why anybody does Aparadh? Because of lack of knowledge. That is very, very important to understand. You don't decide and come that I'm going to do aparadh today. It doesn't work like that. It's only due to lack of knowledge. You don't have the full information about the person or his background or his circumstances or why he's acting like that, and then we end up becoming judgmental and we end up doing some kind of aparadh. So it is only due to lack of information. Now it can be so that the person is not in a position to give you the information either. So it's better to, we basically don't listen properly from the authorities, and then we go in the wrong direction. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here is explaining, the same that we need to hear from Guru, but with faith, with bhav, and pass it on to other future generation, right? The way we hear. So Mahaprabhu is telling the story of Madhvendra Puri. Now we were at the point that how Mahaprabhu knows it, because Mahaprabhu had heard it from Ishwar Puri. So what was it that Mahaprabhu was telling was that there was this person, Madhvendra Puri, who was traveling everywhere. And while during his travels, he reaches Vrindavan, and there he takes bath in Govindakund. And then he does the parikrama of Govardhan, and he sits under a tree in Govindakund itself. There, his daily routine was such that he would never ask for Madhukari. He never asked for Madhukari. If somebody would come and give him something, he would honor it. Otherwise, he himself would never go and ask for Bhiksha. Now, he was just busy that day. It so happened that he did not go for Madhukari, and he was sitting there and chanting the holy names. And Madhvendra Puri was very busy, absorbed in chanting of the holy names. He didn't even feel the need that he wanted to go and do some Madhukari. There came a small boy with a milk in an earthen pot, and he told Madhvendra Puri that, Baba, why are you not going for Bhiksha? You are sitting here all day chanting. You've not had anything. In our village, nobody goes hungry. So I've come here, with some milk for you. So Madhvendra Puri asked the boy that, how do you know that I have not had anything for so long? So the boy said, there was few Matajis there washing clothes. So he said, these Matajis, they told me to come and give you milk because they've been watching you since morning and you've not had anything. So Madhvendra Puri was mesmerized by this child, and he took the pot, and the boy said, you please honor the milk and I'll come and get the pot later. Madhvendra Puri drank, the milk, and the milk was very nectarian. So he understood that something is there with this boy, and he kept waiting. He was literally in mood of separation from the boy. He kept waiting that he will come to get his pot. It was afternoon, then it was evening, then it was night, but no, the boy did not come. Waiting, he slept. Now, when he slept, normally Madhvendra Puri never used to sleep for long. It was just few hours here and there he would sleep, and rest of the time he was just busy in his sadhana. So then in his dream comes the same boy, and he holds the hand of Madhvendra Puri and takes him into some bushes there and tells him that, I've been here for years. The pujaris left me here, and I've been waiting for you to come and get me out of here. What took you so long, my dear Madhvendra Puri? Saying this, the boy leaves the hand and he runs away. Now, when Madhvendra Puri woke up, he realized that the boy was none other than the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna himself. And he started crying and lamenting that, oh, I didn't even pay obeisances to him. I didn't talk to him. I didn't offer him anything. I should have served him. And he was the one who was serving me. He was the one who came and got milk for me. And he was feeling very bad about all the situation. But then he didn't just continue lamenting. He thought that now that he's asked me to get him out of the bushes, so I need to do something about it. So what he does was he gathers all the Brajavasis and he asks them to get all their, axes and all the weapons, all the instruments that they needed to dig the bushes, And then when they went there with the help of axes and all these Brajavasis, they dug the mud from the bushes and lo and behold, they find little Gopal there. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he tells in his commentary that the name of the Vigraha which was found was basically Gopal. And Vajranabha, who's the great grandson of Lord Krishna, he was the one who had established this deity and many other deities in the holy land of Vrindavan. But when the Muslims attacked, so in those days, they used to destroy the temples and the deities. So the pujaris, they basically hid the deity of this Gopal in lot of bushes to protect them, and many other deities like that. This particular deity of Gopal was then found by Madhvendra Puri. Now, this Vigraha was, it's actually still there, very, very beautiful. His one hand is up, and now it is known by the name of Srinathji. It's in the position of holding Sri Govardhan. Now, at the present day time, the same deity is present in Nath Dwara in Udaipur, and that falls in the care of Vallabha Sampradaya. Okay, so this deity, and then Madhvendra Puri, he got these deities out, and then he started worshipping them. He established a whole temple on the top of Govardhan Hill, and all the arrangements were done by Madhvendra Puri on a very, very large scale. The temple and the deity was installed. Now, when the opening was done, at that particular time, the deities were, the Abhishek was done, and wonderful feast was organized. And this program actually, went on for 2 years. Why? Because different people from different areas had come, and when they saw the wonderful kirtan, prasadam, Abhishek going on, then the person from different village would say, oh, now we want to sponsor for next day, let's do it. And then a group of people would sponsor for the next day, and then they would get inspired and sponsor for the next day. And so this went on for 2 years. But this particular pastime of bathing the deities and everything, that still could not cool off the heat from Gopal. And then one day, Lord again comes in the dream of Madhvendra Puri, and he says that, can you get me some chandan from the Malaya hills in Malaya Pradesh, which is basically Jagannath Puri? I'm very hot, and I've been here under bushes for so many years. And the only means of, commuting in those days was just to walk. So that means, where Jagannath Puri is and where Vrindavan is. So how long would it take for him to walk? But he was very old, and he didn't, that did not stop him. He didn't say that, okay, I don't know if this dream was true or not, maybe not. And he didn't make excuses for not going and doing this service for the Supreme Lord, even in that age, versus when, in today's time, when we are given service, we are like, the service has to be done now. It doesn't have to be done by me. I'll make sure it is done. That's the max we do. But having a service given to you is a privilege. It's an honor. And service cannot be of your choice. When a service is being given to you, you should be very happy to be a part of it and to do it. Not that I will not do this service because I don't like it. So because the service has been given to you, you should do it. So anyway, so he didn't take this as an excuse, He, at that particular age, he was so old, and as we discussed, the only means to commute was walking. And then now we can understand from Srila Prabhupada's example, under 4 conditions, service should not be stopped under these 4 conditions at any cost. Even if there is some difficulty, even if there is some scarcity, even if there is any obstacle, or it's not a pleasing experience, you don't want to do it. These are not the reasons to not do a service. You can see Srila Prabhupada, was he not into difficulty when he came to Boston? He was to US at that time. When he came to Butler, Pennsylvania, there he was in Sally Agarwal's house, and in the same kitchen there was some not so very pleasing foodstuffs, which he had to keep his prasadam with those non-veg um, food that was there in the kitchen. But was it not difficult for him to go through that? Or for that matter, was it not difficult for him to bear 2 heart attacks when he was in the Jaladuta? But did that stop him from coming to US and giving us this Krishna consciousness? Now, if we talk about scarcity, so one time Srila Prabhupada was in a car. He was taking a ride with one of the hippies, and he was very hungry, and there was just one apple there. And he asked the person who was riding the car that, can I have this apple? And that person said, yeah, we can share. And he ate half of it and gave the other half to Srila Prabhupada. So was not there scarcity? And in fact, even to print the Bhagavad Darshan, he had to skip the breakfast when he was in Delhi. So was scarcity not a problem for Srila Prabhupada? But did that stop him from preaching? No, it did not. And if you see obstacles, when we talk about obstacles, if you read Leela Amrit, there's this Dr. Mishra in whose flat Srila Prabhupada was staying, and this Dr. Mishra was a Mayavadi. And I mean, he had to tolerate being with a Mayavadi. Srila Prabhupada, imagine, But was he not preaching amid such circumstances? So, and pleasing, I mean, he was in Vrindavan. What can be more pleasing to a person of his spiritual caliber? He didn't have to leave anything, leave Vrindavan and come out. But did he not do that? Was it very pleasing for him to come at the age of 69 with just mere 40 rupees in a completely different alien country with no whereabouts to go? So it was not a very pleasing experience for him, but he did it. Why? Just to fulfill the instructions of his guru. So under these circumstances, these 4 things are not an excuse. Not that if there is a difficulty, I'm not going to do a service, or if there is some scarcity, I'm not going to do a service, or if there is any obstacle, or I don't like it. I don't like this service. So, if we go to temple and you're asked to wash pots, and you're like, no, I don't think I want to wash pots. I'd rather go and cook, because that's something I like, or I'll make the flower garlands, but I'm not going to wash these parts. So service, when given to you, is a privilege. You should do it. It is not based on your liking or disliking. So, and when you get the reward for following the instructions of your guru, that reward is amazingly big. We can see that with all these difficulties, obstacles, scarcities, when Srila Prabhupada came to preach in Western world, he ended up making 108 temples. So that was how big the reward is, and his spiritual master is so pleased with him. One time Bhavananda Prabhu, he used to take care of Srila Prabhupada with so much love and affection. Like Srila Prabhupada told him that, Bhavananda, when you come to Goloka, I will take you to Lord Krishna and leave you in the Goloka Kunj with him face to face, and then I will go away. Then it will be just between you and Krishna. So Bhavananda Prabhu said, that is all right, Srila Prabhupada, but how will I recognize you when I come to Goloka? So sweet, so innocent. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that, oh, you don't have to worry about that. I will recognize you. I will bring you to Krishna. So, when Guru gives you the service, he even empowers you to do it. And we just have to be more than willing to be the instruments, in that service. Now, this all depends on how much faith we have in the words of Guru. There was this one doctor, in the Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra, in the Jagannath Rath Yatra, there was this one doctor who was told that after the Snan Yatra, Lord Jagannath gets fever. And because he's in fever, he's kept in a room away from everybody, and all he served is khichdi because he has fever. He was a doctor. Now you can understand doctors have so many doubts. He was like, what are you talking? A Vigra, a wooden Vigra is going to have fever. He didn't trust, he didn't have faith. You know what he did? After the Snan Yatra, he came with a thermometer just to check the temperature of Lord Jagannath. And he actually did that. And you know what he found? He found that he had 102 of fever, you know. And this is so amazing. That's when he understood that this is not big, just a wooden statue. This is actually Archvigra. This is the Supreme Lord himself. So actually, in Mumbai, Radha Ras Bihari temple in Juhu, there the deity outfits are made by a Muslim guy. He's a Muslim guy, and every festival he would go on the altar to take the measurements. And this pujari said, "Why do you want to go every time? You took the measurement once, na? Is that not enough?" So this Muslim guy, this tailor, is telling the pujari, it doesn't remain the same every time. Sometimes he's fat, sometimes he loses weight. I have to measure every time. And this pujari is saying, "What are you talking? You took measurement, that's enough." So he said, "I am from a Muslim background, and I have full faith in this, that sometimes you people feed him so well, and sometimes he's not fed well, so he loses weight. You don't believe me?" He said, "You come with me." And then for couple of measurements, festivals, he took the pujari with him, the tailor, and he measured, and yes, the measurements differed every time. So this is faith. This is faith. Actually, in fact, during Srila Prabhupada's time, there was this one German devotee. He didn't even know English, huh? So he's sitting there in front of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada is telling him, "I want you to translate my books in German language." In fact, even this particular sentence was translated by one English speaking German devotee, who translated this in German language for this Prabhuji, to whom the instruction was given. And he was thinking that, really, he wants me to translate his books. But he did not just shy away from this. He said that if my guru is asking me to translate, it is maybe because he thinks I can do it. And he actually bought a dictionary, from English to German translation, and he translated all of Srila Prabhupada's books in German language. So this is the faith in the words of Guru. If Guru is giving you an instruction, he will empower you to do it so. So now, actually, one more pastime I'll tell you. In US, one time, Srila Prabhupada, in one of the places, when he was just building opening new temples, so he saw a building, and the building was like $400,000 that time. It was a huge building. So I don't remember the place, but this I heard. And then this disciple was telling Srila Prabhupada that, it's $400,000. And Srila Prabhupada said, "That's a lot of money. I don't think we can do it. Or let me think about it." And this disciple was thinking, okay, looks like Srila Prabhupada is not interested, because in those days, now also we know 400,000 is so much. So in those days, it's going to be so much. So he was thinking that, okay, we don't need to worry about it, looks like. Srila Prabhupada went in his room, he thought about it, and then he called this Prabhuji and said, "I think I'll take it." And this Prabhuji was like, "Oh my God, now how do we raise $400,000? But they did it because they knew that Guru is going to empower. If Guru is giving you a service, then we have to do it. So so basically, when a service is actually given to you, even if it is difficult, we have to perform. Difficulty should be taken for Krishna, and then Krishna is happy. So same thing here. Madhvendra Puri, even though with this old age, he did not say that, "Oh, my dream wasn't true. Oh, Gopal didn't tell me to get Chandan from Malaya Pradesh." He was very excited about it, and he said, "Okay, I've been given." And he didn't see that, okay, he needs Chandan, na, I'll make sure that he gets a Chandan. He said, "No, I am given this service, so I am going to do it." So when he was going to Puri to get Chandan, on the way came the Remuna, the village where there is this temple of Kheer Chor Gopinath. At that time, it was not Kheer Chor Gopinath, it was only Gopinath, and wonderful services were rendered to Gopinath, all top class services. And he was watching all that, and he wanted to learn, because he wanted to apply the same high principles and adopt them in serving the Gopal deity, And when he was talking to Pujari about different services and how do they do things, so at that time, those 12 pots were being offered of kheer to Gopinath, right? Now they passed from, in front of them, where the Pujari was talking to Madhvendra Puri, and he could smell, the wonderful aroma of those kheer. And he, just for a fraction of a moment, he thought that, oh, it would be so nice if I can get to taste this kheer so that I can prepare the same for Gopal. And the very next moment, he thought, oh my God, I've made an offense. It has not yet been offered. How could I even think of tasting it? And with that very thought, he regretted it so much. He just left the temple. He thought that he had offended the Lord, and he went and he sat down in a secluded area in the marketplace. And then, when everything is done, the offering is done, the Lord is being put to rest at night, and the Pujari did all the rituals, and now he's sleeping, and there he gets a dream. In the dream, he sees the Lord Gopinath. Lord Gopinath tells him that, I want you to go and give this pot, earthen pot, in which I have hidden this, kheer behind the curtain. I want you to go and give it to Madhvendra Puri. And this Pujari, he woke up from his sleep, and he was like, really? Is that true? Or was it a dream? Or maybe I should go and check. So he thought that, okay, I'll go and check. But then before obviously going in the altar, he took his bath and he opened the curtains. And lo and behold, there was this one earthen pot full of kheer hidden behind the clothes of the Lord. And he started yelling in excitement. He took the pot and he went to the marketplace and he started yelling that, who is this Madhvendra Puri? The Lord stole kheer for him. And ever since then, the name of the temple became Kheer Chor Gopinath's temple. So Madhvendra Puri wasn't embarrassed. And initially he was embarrassed that, oh my God, now he's looking for me. But then he thought, okay, now, obviously the Lord has sent me kheer, so he wants me to taste it. He got the kheer, he tasted it, he had it. Not only did he taste the kheer, the earthen pot in which the kheer was brought, he broke it into pieces and tied it in his cloth, and every day he would eat some part of it. So, everything of Mahaprasadam, was nectarian for him. Not like, now forget about earthen pot. When we are given Mahaprasadam, we are so selective. No, I don't think I'll eat Karela. I'll eat sweet rice, but Karela is not for me. So this is not how it should be. Mahaprasad is Mahaprasad. So anyway, so when, he tasted it, and the name of the temple then became Kheer Chor Gopinath Temple. Now Madhvendra Puri was thinking that, oh, now I will become famous, because everybody will find out that the Lord stole the kheer for me. I should run away from here. He was not very keen on being famous. He didn't like the fact. So he thought that I should leave, and he left. He left that place for Jagannath Puri, from where he wanted to get the chandan. Now what happened? By the time he reached Jagannath Puri, his fame had already reached there. He reached there and everybody knew, oh, so this is Madhvendra Puri. This is the devotee for whom the Lord stole the kheer. So, the king called for him, but he did not shy away from the fame he got. He thought, okay, everything is to be used in the service of the Lord. So now when he was in front of the king told him, oh, okay, so you are that Madhvendra Puri. Tell me, what can I do for you? And immediately Madhvendra Puri, without any hesitation, he said, okay, I need 82 pounds of chandan and camphor. And so all the paperwork, and he told him about his dream and how he wanted the chandan for the Lord. And so the king was okay, more than willing to give the chandan, and he did all the paperwork, because in those days there were Muslim tax collectors also. So at every stop he had to show some paperwork and things like that in you know in regard to the tax collection, and all that paperwork was done. The 82 pounds of chandan was loaded in the bullock carts for him, and then he was on his way back to Vrindavan. On the way to Vrindavan, again came Remuna. This time, when he went to pay obeisances to Khirchor Gopinath, the pujari himself came running with a pot of kheer, and he said, "Please honor this, otherwise, the Lord will have to steal it for you again." So then he honored the kheer, and then he slept. And there in the dream came Gopal, the deity from Vrindavan, and he said that, "Thank you so much for your service, but I don't need this chandan anymore. And you can actually offer all this chandan to Gopinath. It will be as good as applying chandan to me." Now imagine if this happens to us. We go through all this difficult, the whole process of getting something for the Lord, and the Lord comes and says, "Okay, thank you very much. I don't need it anymore." We'll be disheartened. We'll be like, "What was this? All this service, all this hard work, all this labor for nothing?" But Madhvinder Puri did not take it in that spirit. He was like, okay, because he knows that Gopinath is not different from Gopal. So when Thakurji told him that apply this to Gopinath ji, and it will be as if you're applying to me. So he did that. And he's on the Akshaya Tirth day, he started this Chandan Yatra festival, and this continued for 21 days. And all those devotees in the area, they would help him make the paste from the Chandan blocks, and then he would apply that to Gopinath. So here the Gopinath was applied, and Chandan, and there Gopal was enjoying. And now in Vrindavan, the Gopal lady was cooling down, because remember he said that it's very hot and I need chandan to cool me off. So that's how he was cooled off. So this is how we need to work cooperatively. When we do service as a team, it is more pleasing. Actually, I was listening to another lecture where it was being explained that everybody, when you do Harinam in Sankirtan, so someone, not everybody is in that Mahabhav, not everybody is that focused, not everybody is that much into it. But even if one person of the whole group is very much into Sankirtan Bhav, the benefit is received by all. So everybody gets the benefit. So this is the beauty of working cooperatively. We should do service, hand in hand. Not that we shouldn't be envious of each other. In material life, this is how it happens. When one person is ahead of you in terms of your studies or your career or your material life or a better car or a better house, we are not happy with their progress. We are envious of them. We're jealous of them. In spiritual life, that's not how it works. In fact, there's a country where this race was going on for some mentally challenged girls, and they were supposed to run. There were 7 of them, and everybody was cheering for them, and they were running. But midway of the race, one girl fell. So these other 6 girls, they did not continue running, thinking that now it's chance for them to win, now that one is down. So they all came back, all 6 of them came back. They picked up this girl who was the 7th one who had, fallen down, and they picked her up and they made sure that she was okay. They asked her, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" And she said yes. And then what happened? Such a beautiful thing. All 7 of them held hands together, and they ran together towards the finish line, and they all won the race. So this is how it should be. We all need to serve the Lord together and go back together. We should not be envious. We should not try to make others fall. Devotees, as devotees, we are not competing with anyone, The purpose is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead and go back to the spiritual world together. That is the beauty. So this is what we learned from Madhvinder. Some lessons we learned from Madhvinder Puri's life, that how he engaged everyone in the service of the Lord, how the instructions of Guru are important, how hearing is very important. And we can understand, we can see, some of his disciples were like Ishwar Puri Maharaj, who is none other than the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Nityanand Prabhu, who's an associate of Mahaprabhu himself. Advaita Acharya, who is the reason why Mahaprabhu actually appeared. So we can see that how it is very, very important, how worshipful Madhvinder Puri is in our Gauriya Madhav Sampradaya. So on this note, I would like to end, and if anybody has any questions, we can take from here. Okay, so it looks like we have no questions. So we will end here and then we will meet next Wednesday. Krishna willing. Okay?
Thank you,
right.
Mataji.
Thank you.
Mataji.
I am so happy. All of it was such nice. Good. Thank you so much for being there every Wednesday.
Bye.
Okay. Hi, Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vansha kalpatarupya kripa sindhubhya Pranam Pavnebhyo Namo. Thank you so much. Hi, Krishna.
Hare Krishna.